A switch at the time when I had the stroke happened for me because I needed to decide whether I'm going to die at this hill. We always count time and anniversaries and overlook that the marriage life is not the years. I can bet on my life while that man is not cheating on me. So when things
Yes.
financially went bad, I think he didn't know how to love me without the money.
Yeah. Let me introduce to you the new kid on the block. Mel Lavie is a new skincare range that recently launched. It is for face and for body. We deal with hyperpigmentation, anti-aging, wrinkles, natural glow. We also deal with dark inner areas. We target dark inner thighs, dark armpits, dark neck, dark elbows, dark knees, you name it. We also have a shaving combo. This shaving combo deals with ingrowns and shaving bumps. Both men and women can use this good quality product shaving range. We've got good actives in our product from glycolic acid, hyaluronic acid, kojic acid, and many more. You can contact us on the WhatsApp number that is popping on the screen, or you can reach out to us on all our social media platforms. We are here for all your skin needs. Hi everyone, welcome to O Narrative Podcast by myself, Promise Makunyane. This podcast is about marriage and family dynamics. You know, if you'd like to be a guest on our podcast, you need to write to us on the email address that is popping on the screen. Do not forget to put your number, preferably your WhatsApp number, so that we can contact you once we vet your story. Guys, I'll always tell you that we do have a sister podcast. It's called The Working Wife, The Working Woman podcast. It airs on Sundays at 6 p.m. on the very same channel, that particular podcast. It's really about women working, women inspiring each other to do it for themselves, to work, you know. I always say that it is good to have a man do stuff for you, but it's much more better if you can also do stuff for yourself as well as a woman, you know. So it's a gloomy day in Johannesburg. It's been a gloomy week actually, and I'm over it. Are you coming from Northwest?
It's worse. This side it's not raining.
Is it raining too much that side? Sure. Thank you for making time for us. I was so worried. I'm like, yo, that pregnant mama will never make time for me. The weather is just making things worse.
Not at
Thank you.
all.
Thank you for being here.
It's a pleasure. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah. So, how I got to know about you. Okay, let me tell them. This lady, she actually volunteered or sponsored us. Let me say sponsored us. She sponsored us with goodie bags. If you don't know, I hosted a successful vision board party on the 8th of February. Yeah, it was a vision board retreat, not party, and she actually offered 50 gift bags to us. And before we start, I want you to speak about your business then. Yeah, you'll tell us about your business. And from that, like, you just made things, you don't know how you made things easier for me, because obviously I was planning to do gift bags, but then buying the gift bag, thinking about what is going to be inside the gift bags, and I'm like, yo, this woman just made things easier for me, and thank you.
You're most welcome. It's a
Yeah.
pleasure. It's always a pleasure.
Sure. Because when I saw your pack, and then I just slot in the journals that I got from Peppers in Pain, and then I slot in the gels from Diana Angel. I was like, oh my gosh, this lady does not know what she's done for me. Hey, oh. Thank you so much. So just tell us about your business. How did you go? Do you do gift bags or what?
Uh, my love language is gifting, to be
Ah,
honest. It's not even my business. It's a community program that I run. I even forgot I have a business that needs to pay my bills because
yeah.
I just find a whole lot of fulfillment in the programs that I do for social communities. It's a movement called Find Your Orange.
Find your
Find
orange.
Your Orange. An orange person is somebody that shows up for you, that's
Ooh.
been there for you. And I had a lot of those people at a rough patch of my life.
Mm.
So I started the movement in just appreciating people that come in our path or
Ah.
in my path and say thank you for shining the lights, when my life was dark. So I love gifts, and a bit I do consult and event planning. So when I see women doing good, I always want to be involved. Sometimes my husband kills me because it's way over
It's too
budget. It's
much.
not things, but I've always seen that when you give, you get more, and it
Yes.
just opens so much for me. And I also have a group of people that I work with. We call ourselves kindness ambassadors. So it's usually
Kindness ambassadors.
yes. So we just gift a lot of the stuff that were there were from my friends and what they do in their business. So it's gifts from small business owners as well. So I think I'm good at sourcing and convincing people like, let's do this.
Yeah.
It also puts the brand out there
there.
and make people aware of you. And it was
Yeah.
such an honor. I've never done 50 bags ever.
I'm sure you're like, yo,
No, I think, sometimes we test God.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to do this. Because when I saw you post, like, I'd like to do this. This lady maybe look like your papa, but you know what? Let's shoot a shot.
yeah.
But it was always fulfilling packing the gift bags. And it was amazing seeing the women unboxing them on TikTok.
on TikTok. Like seeing your work.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm glad it was a success.
It was, and you formed part of the success as well. So we'll put you. How do people partner? Do you need like people to partner with your business, or
Mostly do collaborations. Like I say, it's individual people that are doing work in their different communities. Now I just facilitate and say if people have, maybe for instance, there's a soup kitchen in Bramley. Right, it's one of my beneficiaries. So when I host, they cook every day for about, now last year was about 120. They say they're cooking every day 2 meals for about 350 people. So now I just go to people and reach out to people. It's like, you know what, let's do this. It's more about collaborating and just reminding people that an act of kindness, we don't need to be millionaires or have foundations or whatever. Just giving back, and remembering,
Yeah.
if I give you my hand, one day somebody else will, kindness comes full circle always.
yeah. And I'm glad you just unpacked what you do, because I would also like to help you in your other project that you are doing, especially with the branded bars. They are always just convenient.
They're amazing. I had them for my annual event last year. They're beautiful.
If I had known what you do, I would have most probably just gifted you, But now I know.
Yes.
But I'm not saying you must always say, hey, yeah. But
No,
please do reach out to me.
Oh,
because what you're saying, you are the second lady for this month of February that you are speaking about being kind and supporting other women, and it was with Moi. When you see this, you would have seen the episode with Moi on The Waking Wife, The Waking Woman. So you can just, it's coming on Sunday.
I saw the shots of it, yes.
It's coming on Sunday. So I spoke with her and we're speaking about women supporting women. And I was telling her that I started being, I would say, successful in what I do once I started genuinely supporting other women,
yes.
So I'm glad that you are touching on it as well. And this is just a general thing, but we're just bringing back into women supporting other women. And I found myself that the event itself, it was support of other women, the attendees, the people that bought tickets, they are all women.
All women, yeah.
And then my service providers, they are all women actually, and other people were just coming on board. And I got to realize that it is like paving your what forward, paying your what forward.
Pay forward, yes. Yeah. Because sometimes it's not, I think for me, I became more successful once I started collaborating a lot with people, because we hold ourselves back and we really can't do much alone. And sometimes you just need somebody to just hold your hand and pull you there and this is an opportunity. I wouldn't have gotten this opportunity to be here had I not reached out for you.
Yeah.
And another thing as women is we hold ourselves back and we fear. If I feared speaking to you, I would not have been able to do that.
Yeah, true.
So it's always about being open to say, take the risk, man. You've got nothing to lose.
Yes,
shoot your shot.
Yeah. Sure. It's just know that you'll get the worst you can get is just a no.
And you move forward and you do better.
Anyway, ma'am, we're not here to speak about business and about women supporting other women. So when she came to drop another thing that I appreciate is that you came all the way to come and drop the gift bags yourself, when she came to drop the gift bags, we spoke. That's when I got to know about you. She told me a story. I'm like, this story is worth the podcast, because nobody speaks about what you're about to speak about. Nobody speaks about what you're about to speak about because it's like, okay, let's just unpack it. So, introduce yourself. Please tell the people who you are. They already know what you do.
They already know what I do.
Yeah.
Okay, my name is Limpho ON. Originally, I am born South African but raised in Lesotho.
Ah.
I'm a mother of 3 boys, and hopefully God will answer I pop a girl.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully
Yeah.
that's B. I'm a newly bride. I'm getting married, remarried on Saturday.
Make it so. Is it this Saturday?
Yes, it's this Saturday. My anxiety is on a high.
Oh my God, girl, congratulations. It's here.
It's here. It's here.
Are you still feeling the same way like you were feeling 4 years ago? Or how many
It's
how
better
many years?
now.
It's better now.
But I got married very young. I had my son when I was 19. I think I got married. I was 21 when I got married. So this time it's better. I know myself. I'm a better
Yes.
version of myself. So it's amazing.
And you also know the person that you're getting married
Yes.
to. Yeah.
You know,
So this woman is remarrying.
the same person.
Okay, when was your first marriage? Tell us about the beginning of you and this man.
Yo, you know, I was looking back and thinking, we always count time and anniversaries and overlook that the marriage life is not the years, it's how you live with somebody every day,
The quality.
the quality. And I was like, okay, like I say, I was 19. That was like Boma 2002 when I had my child, and then we got married years later. And we actually really lived, I think I signed it 2011 when
Okay.
we signed.
From 2022.
Yeah, from the on and off relationships,
Yeah.
having kids, you know.
Mhm.
So officially, I would say, you know, people would legalize marriage when you signed
sign.
on whatever. Yeah, so 2011. It was okay.
Yeah.
Like in Tatobana, you
Yes.
know. And I think a lot of times as African people, it's default. You have kids, you gotta get married.
That's the next step, yeah.
That's the next step. So whether you know this person or you really want to get married to this person,
Yeah.
doesn't really count. And I think I was young, and I also didn't want my kids not to have a father.
Yeah.
So that was the ultimate goal, was the kids. It wasn't about me and him. Or one.
Yeah.
So it was okay. My husband is the most sweetest person, guys. I think also
Yeah.
he's
TV
very
Kiki wena.
humble. He's very humble, very reserved.
Yeah.
But he's a wonderful human being.
Do you guys meet in Lesotho? What are you doing? Are you
We met here in South Africa. My husband is from Tanzania.
Okay.
So it was also a culture clash because Kimasoto come from
Yeah.
a Christian family. There's
Yeah.
this Tanzanian man, he's Muslim. So another thing was
Yeah.
my journey transitioning and reverting to Islam.
You have a whole lot of things to speak about.
You see, so it was learning a different culture, learning a different religion, and trying to navigate myself, because I think for the first part of the married life, I was still trying to figure myself out. But the most beautiful thing that I got out of the marriage was when I reverted to Islam, I got a bigger platform to live my community work, because there's a lot of social programs giving back in the Muslim community. So, and I was a housewife, man. I had all the luxuries of being a housewife with money, and you know, things were good.
Yes.
And I got to know what I want to do, and that was, I volunteered a lot, I traveled a lot, I learned a lot of myself. But the biggest mistake was, it was for me, and I left this person behind. So we were not growing together. So now he doesn't understand, and my life is on a fast pace. I've built a name for myself.
Yeah.
I've built a brand for my business, you know, and I'm out there. And he really isn't an outgoing person. Like my husband felt like, somewhere, he was like, do you want the bed? I'll buy the bed for you. He's that type of person.
Yes.
Or if we want to go out, he wants to drag the kids.
I hear you.
So we grew apart.
Yeah.
Or rather, I grew away from him
him.
because we were not growing together. which is most of the time as women. Already women are matured ahead of men. And if you're not growing together in a union, it's a big problem.
Yeah.
Because we're not sharing things, and then you start realizing, oh, I can have a friend that I can share stuff with.
And not
And then
my
you find
husband.
comfort with other people and you don't relate with this person anymore. You know, and life happened, man. I became this independent, very vocal now woman who's like, this guy Wambo, this guy is very passive. You know, if I tell people that I left my husband for being passive, you wouldn't understand, because I can bet on my life all that man is not cheating on me. And I
Yeah.
didn't leave him because he was cheating. It was because now he's moving on a slow pace and I'm on a very high pace.
Ish.
Slow, man, he's a tortoise, not catching up. Like, guy, can you catch up?
I'm looking for fast people now, like men that will tame me.
You know, I want this, I can travel, I can do this. And now I take over the role of being a man, even in the house. You know, because even financially, our things then hit a brick wall. And I think for him as an African man he's always been a provider. Like, we've never lacked. So when things financially went bad, I think he didn't know how to love me without the money.
Yeah.
So he sort of like now was just there. He became a shadow of the men that I was with. He was just present. We were housemates, really, because when the kids were not there, it was like,
why are we
why
here?
are we together?
Yeah.
You know, why are we together? Without the kids, then there's no us. And once you allow a lot of that, because we don't do counseling, we don't speak, we don't do that. We just surviving and we'll see it through.
Yeah.
So that broke us, really, because even when I decided, you know what, this is it, he didn't believe it. I started renovating our house. And I'm like, guy, find a place to stay, because okay, sharp. And I really repainted the house because I had already found tenants, and I told them, like, tenants are moving at the end of the month and I'm leaving. That's how I left. Like, that's how cruel and awful it was.
Yes. Before we continue, let's backtrack to when you said, and that happens a lot with us women, we forget a lot. And I'm so glad that we have these conversations, because we are able to get like you are able to see yourself through somebody else when they're relating their story. When you are speaking about when you are speaking about you being converting into Islam, right? Being a Muslim lady, and then now your purpose blossoming, or your knowing exactly what you want to do, it blossoms. And as women, once you start progressing in that, you shortly forget that
That's okay.
it was through this person.
Yes.
I always say that, and I always go back to the fact that people don't know Premise my pushe. You don't know Premise my pushe.
No.
You know Premise Makunyane. Yeah. And the Makunyane at the back of Makunyane's name is my husband. The person that made me a Makunyane. Yes. Do you understand? And I'm not saying we should be slaves of Rai now because people know me now because I'm of the same name. I must die for this. No, I'm not saying that. But I want us to always acknowledge.
Yes. Acknowledge.
Actually, for me to realize, I love giving, I love this project.
I needed to be promised Makunya.
Yes. I needed to be married to an Islam man. And the Islam man is not just anybody. You know, and we overlook that. Secondly, when you spoke about your husband not knowing how to love you without the money, we struggle with that, as black men struggle with that a lot. And I'm glad that you spoke about not going to therapy. Therapy helps a lot. Counseling therapy helps a lot, because when you guys meet or when you guys built up, there's this money, and he's able to take charge of buying your cars,
having everything,
and him being able to pay for absolutely everything, to him giving you a salary per month. And then now when things are becoming lesser or not how they were supposed to be, that man does not know how to.
And remember, even when that happens, it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
But he's not able to communicate or able to. Yes. Now, like, we're not as we were before. You start seeing a different person is grumpy all the time.
When take over this? Who said you must?
Hey,
What
who
are
said
you
you must
saying?
do this?
Yes, you
Yeah,
know, yeah.
And as women, unfortunately, once we start having that capacity to be able to provide,
you will know.
I also feel and now I am, and
Yeah.
it's sad. It's really sad.
Yeah.
And when I look back, I honestly do tell people that if I was this version of myself, then I wouldn't have left.
Yeah.
But sometimes we need to go through the storms to be able to know that.
To know that and appreciate
And
what
appreciate
you had.
that. Because now leaving, it's not just an adjustment. You know, sometimes I'm not saying people should not leave. There is a lot that goes into a woman deciding, now I'm leaving.
Yeah.
But sometimes we don't really have a longer backup plan for what is.
Yes.
And you are thinking for yourself. And I have 3 boys then, had to leave our home that was comfortable.
Yeah.
And we went to Free State to a family home and it was a small village.
You did not think about the whole
No
picture.
picture.
And that's what men do for us, our husbands do for us. They think about the whole picture. When today yeah, now in 5 years, like he's looking there. When you're just looking here.
Now I'm looking now.
Yeah.
I'm packing these things in the car. And I'm starting
What
over.
are you saying to the kids? Like, are you even thinking
We're leaving? No, that's all I said to my kids.
Say bye
We're
to
leaving.
daddy.
Say bye to daddy. You understand? These kids know their father. He's a better parent than I am, very present than I am.
Yeah.
And I just uprooted my kids from the soft life to going to a town, traffic lights at a rural place, and we have to start over. And the decision in my head was, okay, my parents' Baleso to this place is like not very far. So if I need anything, at least my parents will be there.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not working. I'll figure it out.
Yes.
And unfortunately, I'm a firstborn.
Yeah.
So I've got that.
The toughness.
I'll figure it out. I will not fail.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'm going to rent this place out. And then the rental will cover Dijo and whatever. Have to look for school. And we're fighting now with this person.
Yes.
And when you're fighting with somebody who's not fighting with you, he just brings out
Yeah.
the monster in you because you want to find fault or validate that. And eventually we were the worst of enemies. We brought out the worst out in each other because now we're fighting about the kids. We are going through a process of divorce. Everybody's mean. Everybody is just on their own space. I don't want him anywhere near my kids.
Yeah. My kids.
My kids.
Yes.
So we stayed. And we lived in a small town in Ladybrand. And I only had stuff that we had in the car.
Oh my God.
A car that he bought. Right? So
Yes.
and then my mom, they brought me a bed. And, so you'll move the kids from comfort. And then vacationing and adjusting. My older son we were very, very, very clashing. He was very angry. And I was also very angry, very abusive. And I remember the last time when I slept, he was like, Mami, because one day I'm going to put it back and it won't end well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. But I don't know. I think for me, that's when I learned the kindness because God stripped me of everything. Friends, everything. I literally just had my kids and my family.
Before you get to Ladybrand, how long were you guys married for before you left your marital home?
10, 11 years.
Yeah.
Over. So it's a different dynamic. Now these kids have to go to a different school. We have to buy uniform or go the lost and found because mommy doesn't have money to get the other stuff. And batabalubu ali daddy because mommy is going to shout. It was a tough time, and I was lucky that that was in 29. We left 2018, so the first 19 was hard, was tough. Then I got called. A friend of mine was going on maternity leave at a place in Joburg. She's like, no, come. I temped there for a while. Like they want somebody, but they want somebody that they know was a Muslim Turkish company.
Okay.
I'm like, no, it's fine. I will come. I started work in 2020, Feb.
Yeah.
Got my first salary, was able to go home, do stuff for my kids. I came back.
Your kids were with your mom?
No, they had a helper. I had to get somebody to live in with them when I came here. Just after I enjoy a salary now, the Ramaphosa are lockdown.
Yes.
And I was like shut down.
Yeah.
That day I cried so hard because I was like, what is this?
What is this?
What is this? But fortunately, I think it was also an advantage for me that I was working for a Muslim company and these people, now we had a relationship. I still got my full salary even when I was home.
Okay.
Oh, and then we came back at level 4. But things were hard because my kids didn't know me now. They couldn't relate with me because I'm a part-time mom.
Yes, yes.
And financially it doesn't make sense. I'm renting now in Joburg and they're staying there. You're running on a salary. You're sharing 2 households. But it was really hard because I went through a lot of stuff alone. And I was so bitter because I felt, how can I have been giving so much and been there for people and no one is here? And I remember there were days before I could start working, I would scroll on the phone and try and figure out, today. You know, it was that bad. But we soldiered through. You know, you soldier through and
you start dating. I
you
also
start
want us
meeting
to
people.
Yeah.
You know? Okay, firstly, it would be like,
This is
Moto has
good.
been married. Like, I moved from being Wanasgolo to being pregnant to being married.
Yeah.
Get that?
Yeah. Actually.
So now I don't know how to date.
Yeah.
I don't know this.
To flirt.
You meet someone, it's generally, okay and again.
Yes, let's get married.
Let's get married.
Yeah.
So, it's just, you meet someone, and I got turned off very easily. But I think during the time of COVID, that's when I really met somebody that I was like, oh, okay, no.
Yeah.
I'm kind of, maybe this we could try. But my other son didn't like the guy. So it was sort of like a force. But I believe that you meet people for a certain reason. For a certain part of our lives, he was good for us.
Okay.
But African people don't know how to co-parent. Because it was like, hey, banaba. No, now me and Happy were trying to talk. I'm trying to bridge, build a relationship with the kids. This guy doesn't want him anywhere near us. You know, so it was that dynamics there. Now I have to satisfy this person at the expense of my kids.
Ish. That time when you know,
so it was like tough. So 2020, 21, 22. Like I'm telling you, I really don't know how to date. I'm counting for you that's how long I've been with this person. 2020.
the boyfriend.
Yes. 21, 22.
You're going to marry him. You're planning to get married.
But when you realize in relationship, it's like, now my husband didn't do these things. Some habits, groovy, now you have to deal with this person. You know, now you have to be sneaking on the phone. And you're dealing with a cheating person when you were the only person. Now you have to settle for being number 2 because
or sharing him with
you're
the
scared
side
of
chick.
being alone. I think the biggest part was, so now what? Because now I have to introduce this person to my kids, and so it was tricky.
Was he staying with you guys?
There was a time when we lived in together. But when I brought my kids back to Joburg, we didn't live together. I stayed with my kids. But it was that thing. I would leave my kids and go visit
him. Yeah.
And leave the kids.
And leave the
so you understand what I was doing to my older son.
Yeah.
I just gave him that role.
To be a father.
To be a father, a mother, and without his consent. You know? So when I was going through stuff in the relationship, like, I don't want to get to how bad the relationship with the guy was. But it went so bad that we were business partners and everything fell apart. Really, really fell apart because in the business partnership thing, he was running our finances.
Ooh. Okay, we cheatane.
Promise. I'm recovering from debt as is
Oh my gosh.
now
From relationship.
from a relationship. I'm still in debt in the business from that I still need to get myself out
Out
of.
of.
I had a mild stroke, like I could not use my hand, and for about 6 months I was on rehabilitation. I could not work. I could not. And the sad thing is, I was supplying, right, buying, supply industrial stuff. Corporate people, when you don't meet up, they move to the next
Yes,
supplier.
the next supplier. At least he busy.
It's busy. Now I have to lose the car again. So like it's another downfall from my kids. Like we're going. Now it's like 10 steps back. And I was like, okay, you know what? I need to work on myself.
Yeah.
I need to stop being afraid to be alone. I need to break up with this person. It starts being lonely. You go back. Like it's toxic.
Yeah.
You know, you start missing that toxicity. You want that.
Maybe it's a trauma bond.
Trauma bond.
Yeah.
This person, I don't want to fail. I'm not going to fail on a marriage. I'm not going to fail on this. I need to make this work. But
Maybe
it
I'm
really
the
didn't work.
problem.
No. I don't want to get into it. So.
Yeah. Hi, Bo.
I'll never, ever, even if my sister would come and say, really, I would kill her. Promise, like I was mad. Mental. And when I look back, and now Habi's been saying, can we fix things? Yeah. And I can't because there's this person, it's a back and forth. And I see where this man has changed because when we were okay, he could see that now this person is not managing.
Yeah.
He started doing for the kids and taking care of the kids and lessening the burden off me. Onumbogoto ela. But I think a switch at the time when I had the stroke happened for me because I needed to decide whether I'm going to die at this hill or I'm going to be a mother to my kids.
Was it because of the stress?
Yes. It was because of the stress.
Mm.
So it's like 6 months down, I wasn't working. I'm in debt.
Ish.
You know, debtors are calling this and this, the rental and whatever. And
yeah.
you know, it's not even about that. So I decided, you know what, I need to work on myself and heal. So
What
I
year is
started
that?
doing, that was like 2023.
Yeah.
No, beginning. Like I needed to start counseling. I went to counseling. I started going to church. Like I wasn't even sure because after that, I wasn't sure whether I'm Muslim. I wasn't sure if I was, because I'm angry.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I gave myself to Islam and now I'm all alone. I'm going through all of these things. I was so angry at God for the longest time. I could not pray because I didn't understand how can God leave me, you know, but in my healing process, I learned that God doesn't leave us.
He never left.
He never left. I left, you know, and I started praying. I started just releasing everything that is in me and saying, God, I trust you with my life and the direction that you want. I'm all in. Like I gave up wanting control. You know, part of being an older child is you want to control everything and everything and you want to plan to detail, and sometimes life is not like that. And I realized that in that season that I needed to be that broken to be able to get myself out of this situation. And when I decided I am going to work at getting back with this man, also what are people going to say? Remember,
your parents.
And my parents were always wanting and advocating for that. Like I say, I think I was more the problem than he was. You know, so he's always had a relationship with my family, even aside of me.
Of you.
Oh, so like, okay, we are apart, we're trying to make it work. That was closer to the end of 2023. 2024, things are still working. My is like, okay, can we move in together? Ke batla leeway hore maybe I can still go fix that side.
Mokoni wa gago wa go tshwenya, wa go tshwenyang o sa mo nyake.
Hey, Obo, am I really going back to this person? Kala na I grew up, I was like, na ke tlhatse ka ja matlhatse.
Yeah.
I'm never.
You are battling with yourself
I'm
again.
battling with myself even more than because now I didn't even have friends around me anymore. I had people that were saviors or destiny helpers in my life at that time. So I'd built different relationships that also didn't have dependency on people. Because sometimes when we have friends, we are so reliant on people that we burden people. Let me say, even with husbands, we burden them because we become very clingy. We don't know what we want outside of them. You live your life, this person. So when they start having their own life, you start being bitter.
Yes.
So I had to work on how I relationship with people as well, to be able to relationship with myself and love my own company and be content with being alone. And in that healing, I learned, you know what, my kids are happier with their father around. Sometimes I had this phrase here, Hore, fairy tales aren't for every girl, so maybe I'm not to get fairy tales. But who said love is about the butterflies? It's about fairy tales. What is a happy ending?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what a happy ending is because I've not worked towards the happy
What's
ending.
that?
So I was like, I chose my kids. I eventually just chose my kids. I'm like, I'm going back for my kids. That's it.
How old is your firstborn?
21.
Do you have the conversation with him, or you just hitting above his
No,
head?
this time I had a conversation with them and
Yeah.
they were like, leave us out of your relationship issues.
Please.
Please.
Yeah.
So we started having family weekends together
With their father.
with the father, would go out, and we also started dating each other.
The thing that you missed
I
at the
missed.
beginning.
Yes, we would go out together, have conversations, and now he was paying attention to the stuff that I like, the stuff that I do.
Yeah.
Like, I'm proud of you. And I don't remember him saying that, in all the years.
Yeah.
And he started wanting to attend things that I am doing or where I would be called or whatever. He would want to be present. And that softened me. But even though I wasn't sure if I'm still in love with this person or was I ever in love with this person, there was a lot to battle with. When you get married young, it was the butterflies, it was also the kids,
Yeah.
it was, you're not sure whether you were in love with this person
Yes.
or it was just.
Also, it's like the woman that you are is the woman that you are now in love with the man that the girl fell in love with. Yeah.
But I could see that he'd done a lot of work in himself of the things that I used to complain about. You're not present, you're not attentive. Excuse wrong. I want things, when I say I want something, I want it done now.
Okay.
And it's a bad habit, but it's something that I need to work on.
Yeah.
Like, shift this to if you don't move it, I'll do it myself.
Oh my God.
So I think in that broken time, God led me to learn to be able to. Now I speak very deep Sotho, so I'm trying to convert it in English.
Give people grace or what?
No, give myself grace and let go of the pride, the ego, and ask for help. Be able to say, promise, I don't have anything, but I would. So even when I do business or campaigns or whatever, I would always tell people, the stuff that I do, I don't have money, but my heart wants this. So it opened a lot of doors for me even when I was doing partnerships with people, because I came as I was. And people could see how genuine in what I was doing I was in. And I'm able to say, now I can't. I had to learn boundaries, even how I give out myself to the world, because I didn't want to be depleted. I had to rework my relationship with my kids and allow them also grace to heal and go over and voice out everything that I put them through.
Ish.
It's not nice.
It's not nice.
It's not nice. Like I say, also, boys are very, very sensitive.
Yeah.
Boys are very sensitive, and we overlook that and not allow them to get into their feelings. And it's still a lot, because my oldest son, Nalena, we were born on the same date. We're both Taurus. So he's stubborn, I'm stubborn.
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
very vocal,
Mm-hmm.
like I am. So sometimes when he wants to speak, he says it as it is, unfiltered,
Yeah.
raw as it is,
Yeah.
and it doesn't come nice.
Nice
But
to
that's how he
you.
feels, and I've learned to take it in.
Mm.
But after that, we'll have a discussion of learn how to break down your feelings in a way that's I will listen that you had, not to the disrespect, but to exactly what you're speaking. But the trick of this is in
Yeah.
the reunion, when we now started getting back together, he would come and sleep. Now, fast forward, I'm planning, okay, I'm getting back to this person. It's a beautiful year.
Yeah.
I'm turning 40. I'm
It's
excited about
2024.
40. It's 2024. I'm turning 40. I'm going to do this. We're going to travel with the kids. We're going to, enjoy.
Yes.
God was like, I started being sick.
Yeah.
Like, I was so sick.
Uh-huh.
And at the time, I'm still drinking a bit.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, let me try something else. I literally for a month
Uh-huh.
slept in the bathroom because I could not stomach anything. And someone was like, do a pregnancy test. I'm like, it's not possible. I cannot be pregnant because I sterilized. Okay. I did a pregnancy test. 2 lines. Bought another one. 2 lines. I think I bought about 8. I'm like, I'm going to the doctor. It's not possible. Something is wrong. The doctor's like, pregnancy. I'm like, no, I did, but I can't because I had a tubal ligation in 2014 when I had my last child. Okay, the doctor's like, oh, there's always 99% working. The 1% is there.
Is they?
I'm like, it's not possible. Not at all. It's not possible. Girl is pregnant. Girl is 40 and pregnant.
Pregnant
So
by
I
the
tell this
ex-husband.
guy, I'm pregnant.
You're telling your husband?
He's like, how? I'm like, I don't know. So the minute he said how, that is like when he says how,
What do you mean?
what do you mean? And I'm like, okay, it's fine. Let's leave it. I'll terminate it.
Oh my gosh, I'm just asking how.
And I just dropped the phone, stopped talking to him. And I'm dealing with, it's like, do I want a child? I don't want a child. I can't. Okay, but maybe I do. You start finding out why a child now? Why this now? Why whatever? And I think he came because we're living in the East End. He lives in Pretoria. It was also very hard because he had to commute a lot to come and see us. And the up and downs, and sometimes the kids need him or I need him, and he can't be there because his business and all of that. So I'm like, okay, we'll go to the doctor. When I go to the doctor, they're like, we're not sure. Chances also are a risk of an ectopic pregnancy. And I have been through an ectopic pregnancy. I didn't want to go through that. They can't see the fetus or anything. Now I have to be referred to a specialist to really make sure that the baby sits in the right position.
Yeah.
Now I can't even tell my mother. I want to let go and cry and whatever, but now I'm risking if I tell her and then I have to terminate this pregnancy because it's a risk.
Yeah.
I went through that season
Sure.
where I'm dealing with that, went to the specialist and the guy's like, everything is fine. A part of me was very happy because let me say, I love being pregnant.
Yeah.
I always wanted more kids, but we were just not in a good space to have more kids. So I'm like, okay, so this is it. This is my answered prayer.
Yeah.
This is restoration for me.
That's what I wanted to ask you. What does this pregnancy mean for you? Restoration.
Reconciliation. It's an answered prayer. It's God heard. It's also that having kids in a unit.
Sure. So in the 4 years, you've been apart for 4 years. You never had a child with Mukoni?
No.
And when you reunited with your husband?
That happened.
Sure.
So that then started, okay, we need to plan forward. What are we doing? Are we really into this?
Yeah.
We need now to work harder.
Yeah.
And we had to now go to my parents and tell them, okay, we have decided this is what we're doing, and letting the family know.
Yeah.
sit down with the kids. Okay, there's a baby coming. There's a lot of things happening.
Sure.
But now, when you are a control freak, somehow God lets you. I went through the most humble season. My business just died.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to provide for myself. I haven't been earning a cent since May.
Huh?
No, like,
Now what?
you understand?
Wow.
Not my business has not been getting any orders or anything, and I
Yeah.
stopped even like reaching out
Reaching
and
out.
suppliers and whatever. No, I stopped, but I've not lacked. This man has provided, and we got up, and it's like, no, move, like move back to. I'm like, and then what? Like, just move. And then one day it's like, look for a place.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean look for a place? It's like, I want to buy you and the kids a house.
Oh, true.
And he knows where I'm a rural girl. I love gardening and whatever. And it's like, look for a place where big enough where you could be able to
Have your yard.
have your chickens and whatever. I'm like, I'm leaving my dream at this moment because I've got a little plot where I've got a garden, I've got chickens, I've got, all of
Yeah.
that. And it's so fulfilling to be able to do that with him and have a second chance at a happily ever after with my kids.
Sure.
So
Mara, do you see
we
it's-
are having a re-celebration, vow
Marriage,
renewals,
yeah.
and all of that. And it's beautiful because we really didn't go through all of that. I was young and everything was just. Now I'm enjoying it because I'm planning it myself
Yes.
and looking forward to it.
When it's taking place on Saturday, and then where is it going to? When you guys watch this, it would have taken place, unfortunately.
It's in Pretoria.
Yeah.
It's in Pretoria. It's a very nice, very small, intimate, because
Venue.
over the years I've learned that sometimes we overshare or we over want people in our lives and people really don't want to be in our lives. So it's just a ceremony with my family
Yeah.
and the people that I feel have shared in our love story and
Sure.
understand where we've been and where we are now. And I'm really excited about it.
Sure.
It's beautiful, and I am already just waiting to pop. My
Yeah.
cousin is like, please don't have the baby before the wedding.
Yeah. Imagine if you give birth on a
But
Friday.
it's beautiful. I had to lose myself and heal to be a better version of myself. So the healed version of me, friends better, mothers better, and wives better.
You know, God loves you, hey?
A lot.
Sure.
A lot.
Because like 4 years not 4 years of a separation, 4 years of a
Full on
divorce.
The streets are cold. When honestly,
I want you to speak about that.
The streets are rough. Like I'm telling you, that relationship got me mental.
Imagine.
Mental. It's something that I think, out of the respect of my husband,
You
watching
can't
this,
go-
I can't
yeah.
really delve into that.
No, but we
But
hear you. We hear you.
It was brutal.
Yeah.
I lost myself. I didn't even know who I was. And for that, to see where I am and how far I've accomplished in our reunion and reconciliation is, at the period that we were apart, we were all suffering financially. Like we hit a knock, all of us. But since we've gotten back together, like, promise, I can't tell you the amazing work that God has done. I never in a million years thought we will ever again own our own home where we're building together. And I don't even have to ask. He just provides. I sleep now, like I'm the literal housewife.
Even
Now
now
I'm
you are
busy.
pregnant, you go west.
The goodie bag.
Yes, I had the up and down.
I had the up and down. That's how much God has shown me His mercy. Trust in me and I will. I let God in my life and said, God, I trust you.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to want to have control of anything
Ever
at
again.
all. I just leave you. And it has been amazing. It has really been amazing. We're living comfortably. We're not rich, but we're
you're
content.
okay.
But the love and the happiness that my kids have and that we have is amazing. I never thought I would go back to having that. How are you not coming home? Feeling,
Can't get robots.
stay with me when we have those moments where and also like him being part of everything that I do.
He's here, by the
amazing.
way.
He's
He
here.
drove him here. He drove her here.
You know, so it's beautiful to be able to go through all of those. So life really begins at 40.
Eish. You know, I believe that I'm not 40 yet, but the older I get, I'm just excited about life. The older I'm getting.
Because you're content. Like really now I'm not worried about anything else except just being present and just leaving.
Sure. That is, it must feel good, you know, and it's just the total opposite, because some people when they are 40, they'll be like, oh, you know what, I want to do a BBL, I want to do a what, you know, I'm just myself. And you are just like, I'm with my family, I'm with my kids, I'm pregnant, guys, I'm just at peace, you know. It's just like it's great. Even
It's
how
beautiful.
you are speaking, like you sound like you're so much at peace
I'm at peace.
and
I'm
content with it.
really.
Sure.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful feeling when I think a lot of times we're within ourselves and listening to the noise outside of life that we don't listen to the voice inside us. So sometimes we need that to be able to really plan out and really know what life is and what is it that you want.
Yeah.
Because now everything that I've always wanted, I've lived it. But had I not shot my shot and taken the risk of saying, I'm going, I would not have this for me or for my kids.
Yes.
I would still, be the Mbogoto that said, okay, fine, I'm pregnant, I will raise the child alone. You know, I don't want any part of that. I don't. But I let the ego, I let go of the pride, especially because he's a good man. Like I'm saying, he's not abusive. He's not, he's present.
Ish, you just need to be patient with him.
Yes.
And understand him.
He learned how to deal with me and love me as flawed as I am. So I needed to learn some of the things with him that I need to give him grace for.
Yeah.
And allow him to grow at the pace that he is within, because I can't be on a 360 when he's still on a 240. I need to backtrack as well at some point and say, okay, I'm here. I'm going to walk this journey with you.
Yeah. And sometimes, what did I want to say? I want to say, sometimes you will think it is that money that you used to make, that, you know, you being in control, you will think life is all that. It's not. It's really not, you know. And when I look at, so I shared a lot how we lost everything during COVID, right? Lost every single day, their house, their cars, their whatever. You understand? We literally had to start from zero, right? But when I look at that life and this life,
do you miss it?
No, I don't. However, I am of the mind that I know how it feels to ride in a Mercedes Benz. You know, it's comfortable. I can't take that away. But the quality of our marriage now
is better than
versus then. Guys, I don't want to lie. Yes, we're still rebuilding to get those things. But then now I'm so glad that this season
But now you're
happened.
rebuilding together to get those things.
Imagine, you guys, I
to
can't
get those things. And I say that only until you've lost everything and have to build from scratch, you will never, ever know how it is to be content. Like I tell you, the debts I have promised.
Yeah, you've said it.
I have so much debt in my business that sometimes I ask God, will I ever get through this hurdle?
Yeah.
But I know I will, you know, but I am not going to stop leaving because I need to work towards fixing that financial aspect and not let it now come redestroy what I've built or I'm building. But at the period where we used to have everything and I never lacked anything and he was always never present. I was never present. We never had time for each other. We never had this. So I let the masculine me die and be very submissive and be very womanly and let him lead and I follow. Now I trust him wholeheartedly. Like my trust issues, I had to let go of my trust issues and say, I trust you and I believe that you will lead us to how you want this family to be.
And in the leadership, it does not mean that they won't make faults.
No.
But it's my husband always says, even if I don't do something right, my intentions are pure. I will not just do anything to destroy my wife and my children, So my intentions will always be clear and are always clear. So it's just giving each other grace, and like the rebuilding, it's also it's nice, It's like right now, everything that is going to fall back into the life that we used to have, it's going to, like, I'm just like, I'm going to enjoy it.
You also know how to receive it better now
Yes.
and appreciate it.
Girl, I can tell you that I don't know. I remember I was driving, a Golf 7 past. Vroom. I had it when it was still coming, and it is coming, and then it just, I'm like, oh my God, like that's, it was only after maybe 5 minutes, I'm like, that used to be my car. But when I was in that moment, I can't remember
You can't
anything.
remember.
We
that.
spoke about it at the vision board, how you are not content. Sometimes you need to go through stuff so that you can see things. I can't.
Sometimes you have everything, but you don't even see that everything.
Yes. Like, I looked at it like, and I'm like, but I used to drive. I can't even remember anything about it. I'm admiring it like I don't know it. So, yeah, anyway, I'm taking over. Please speak. But I'm glad that you are speaking about this, because
I always say, I will never advocate for divorce. Divorce is brutal. It's messy. It's death. It should be part of causes of death.
Yeah.
Part of. It's not a good thing to go through, and it's some things that, if your marriage is still worth saving, or you believe that there is still hope, like, go through all the avenues before you make that decision and say, because there's certain things that are tolerable, because there is worse out. You leave this and you go to worse, so work on yourself. I think most times is we forget us as a person.
Yeah.
And now you are wife and mother. And who are you? Like, describe yourself.
Yeah.
Hence I say Kitimpoletlala, because that is my maiden name.
Okay.
Right. My marriage name Kimajoko. So it's not that I disown that, but I want to have my own identity, as I have never lived that part or know what that little girl's dreams were. That is why I brand under that particular name. But I still proudly am Mrs. Majoko, and I am proud of that. But I had so much that I'd put on this poor person who's also trying to make a life or determine what he wants. That it's a burden sometimes that we put on other people.
Yeah.
And we don't hold ourselves accountable. So for the season in my life where I've gone through all of that, I think it was for me to be accountable for the things that I've done and forgive myself, and also apologize to him for whatever that I've done.
Yeah.
My contribution in where we ended up, because it is not that he was building alone or he was at fault alone. It was a combined union, and I was wrong. He was wrong. I might have been wrong over him, flawed more than him, but because I'm the one that left, I had valid points to fight on. And also because he's not really vindictive and whatever, he can't say, but you did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes.
And I tolerated all those things, but it's things that we work through and say, can we speak? If we have a problem, can we address this and deal with it? And that's it. But also that's another beautiful thing, because I had to relearn to him being my friend, because I do have friends.
Yeah.
But it's not that I'm all clingy on that. I have to have a friend that I can confide in, and we go through this, because he's the one that stuck with me.
Yeah.
Yes. So I had to make him my friend, him to understand me. So when I feel, today I'm not in a good space, I need to say, well, I'm not feeling okay. This and this feelings are.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm lacking at 1, 2, 3. And then we work on that together. So that has been part of the healing, that we say jointly we work on whatever that we're going through before I can even go and consult outside and say, Chomi, you know this guy, Ufitlile lady,
Yeah.
and that. Work it with him before, and we go through the emotions.
I love that. And if there is one thing I've learned in therapy, which is adding on what you are saying, is that you need to be able to explain how you are feeling.
Yes.
If your husband is coming back at 12 a.m., when he comes or in the morning, don't just say, yeah, what, and not address this. You know, it's like,
Address the 12 a.m.
Yes.
Don't address last week.
yes. Or don't say, yeah, vele wena, o saw what, you know, like at 12, wara. Like, address the pain there, hore. Yeah, whether wa shout or dirang, o tla ka 12, o tla ka 12 ga go ndira go ke be up at night, ke te putša o safe.
Safe.
Before even, and
I
that's
worry
what,
about safety.
yes, I worry about
this,
yourself. Before I'm
I
going to
worry
think
about
that
this.
you are out there with a girl, I'm worried about your safety. If you're still alive, if your phone is off, I'm asking, are you still
I'm still
alive?
alive.
Umusha rengina,
Be
umaphodiseng ina.
considerate.
Yes, like really point out your feelings. How, okay, this is
Makes
making
me
me feel
feel
like
this
this,
way.
like this, like this.
But also with us women, when you're fighting something or addressing something, I don't use words like always,
Yeah,
because he is not always like that.
that's true.
It's just that moment. So there's words that I've learned to hold back and say, okay, today you didn't treat me well here, and I'm upset about this. It's not, when are you always
You are
like
always
this? No, it's not true, because he's not
Yes,
always
that's
like that.
true.
So we need to be mindful of the words that we use, the power of the tongue as well.
And men, it's just how you speak to me. It's just that if you as of you a man just blanks out, and you think that
not listening to you.
Yeah.
That's why you will write a paragraph and then he says, okay.
yes, or just blue tick when he gets home. Why didn't
Because he did not even read
Yeah.
that. He just saw
paragraph?
paragraph.
So we really need to know how to communicate and how to. It goes back to self. You need to know yourself.
Yes.
Because if you can't point out how you're feeling, it's got nothing to
He
do with
can't.
him
He
coming
can't
at 12.
thumbsuck.
Yes. If now I can't tell him, or this thing actually, so, it's got nothing to do with him coming back at 12. Because now okay, ke bula ka 12 because I had a meeting.
I had a meeting.
So when because it's triggering your what,
Your
and you
inner
haven't dealt with
whatever,
those. It's just a
It's a mess. So you need to say this. Find that feeling. But
Sure.
also, if you don't have anything that you are doing with your life, you will always be angry at that he's got a life and you don't have a life.
And it's jealousy. You mask it as if
you mask it as if a conflict in marriage or
Yeah.
relationship,
Yeah.
but it is really not, because but get a life. You know, whether you mother better, you bake, you whatever,
Yeah.
get something, get a book, write a book. You know, we need to work at finding what. So in as much as all the healing and transition that I'm doing,
Yeah.
I am fulfilling the little girl in me's dreams that I had,
Yeah.
and enjoying that process as well.
Yeah. Sure. Anyway, Mami, like your story is a story that when I started, I said it's a story that people don't speak about. Divorced women don't speak about. Then what next after you sign divorce, after you leave your house? Tell me about what happens in that in between. You being a divorced woman, you know, the regrets that you have. Nobody speaks about, what's a divorce. Yes, they share their stories, but they don't share it like bare that.
That is, I think yesterday was my
actually,
husband's birthday.
Yeah.
So I had a post on Instagram. I don't really post them, but I just decided, you know what, I appreciate this man.
Yeah.
And I said, I thank God for a second chance of marriage with you. And another lady inboxed me, it's like, you know, I've been considering the second chance or going back. How is it? I'm like, it's tricky. Because firstly, it's about where you both are, why you left, what you've worked on, and are you guys willing to? Reconciliation is as bad as the divorce, because now sometimes I have to listen to him address the things that I did in our separation.
Yo. Hlabamo.
Go hlabamo, you know, are you ready to apologize for that part?
Yeah.
And men don't take it easy. Okay, you went out and you were busy.
You were
Okay.
with this person.
You understand?
Yeah.
You know, it's also what type of person your person is. But you've got to allow him to voice those things, whether you want to hear them
Or not.
But you've got to be able to let the slices go in. Sometimes it's not nice, but that's the only way to get over that hurdle and say, I'm closing that chapter, and this is the chapter that I want.
So your post proved that there are other divorced women that are considering that
The streets are rough.
The streets are cold. I hear that
The
a lot.
streets are cold,
Yeah, my
especially
friend
when
always
you
say-
have kids.
Yeah.
Dating as a mother with kids, it's hard.
Mm.
And also, companionship is really important, guys. We can mask the independence and whatever and say, but loneliness is sad. At night, those kids are not going to listen to you.
Eish, bruh.
The invoice ga di a patediwa ka o sa ne go patelwa rente, and you sometimes long to have someone that you can just offload to after work, after a stressful day, you know, or when something good has happened, the first person you call and share that moment. So I think women go through that, but it's a lot of times where, what are people going to say? Because what did I say about this person?
He's a narcissist. You've already told us, and then now you can't go back.
You can't go. How can you go back? It's betrayal.
Yes, even to the community, because misery loves company.
But why is it betrayal?
Yeah,
Because
misery loves company. We love you when you are sad. We love you when you are crying out of your marriage, your kids. You're a single mom. Blah, blah, blah. But
and
when you go back there,
when you go back, you're alone.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I said, no, I don't want to be worrying about changing the tire.
Yeah.
Worrying about the car's got oil or even little. Like, I don't want to know.
And that feeling of, I always say, okay, that feeling that will just come to you of gratitude. It's like a wave that comes to you. I'm like, I'm so thankful that I've got a husband. Or even with the kids, like my husband is a hands-on parent more than me. And I think I take advantage of that because he's that father. He's the father. And I'm like, guys, I'm so thankful. Hey, at night when you are sleeping there and your husband I'm so thankful.
A lot. Like, schools have opened.
Aibo.
No, I don't know how to make scaftini. I don't wake up.
Your husband is there.
He's done that.
Hi guys, what's working?
And we're already towards the end of the first quarter.
Yeah.
But like I say, you look and weigh. That movie, Tyler Perry, the 80-20 rule. A lot of times we want the 20.
Yeah.
And we forget the 80.
The 80.
I think we need to learn the balance of how do I work getting the 20 from this person that I'm with. Because the 20 to get to the 80 is hard.
It's hard.
But the 80 to get to the 20 is a working process. And it's something that is workable.
Girl, anyway, we ran way out of time and I know they're going to love this episode. I know people are like, you always hosting people in bad marriages or divorce. I'm like, happily married women are not coming. Like, people reach out to us, guys, please do come, because I enjoyed him. It was something different, something even though I even commented them, like, it's also important for me to have those conversations. It's important because I'm just so glad that women now have got the nerve to come out and speak their
platforms and be vocal about
Please,
what is happening.
If you want to speak about your tragedies and everything, you are more than welcome here, because we are liberating women. Anyway, guys, in closing, the why I wanted to also sit with you was that I told you that I was speaking to a lady who has separated with her husband. She's separated now. I think it's going into a year now, or maybe many months. She's separated, and maybe my 6 months. I don't know. And she's considering going back to her husband. So that person she's dated. I've seen like her new boyfriend. She's a boss babe, and she's like, I'm going back to my husband. And she's battling with like the shame, she's battling with, am I really making the right decision? But she's like, no, there's nothing out there Or, I just want my husband. Like, I don't know how I'm going to tell him to come back. She wants her husband back. She's like, no, I'm better off with this man. This man is way better
Than this.
than this and what is out there already that I've seen.
The thing is, the shame that we're scared of, it's the shame that people are already giving us. You're already dating. People are already skinnering about you. So going back and staying out is the same thing. Babulela kawen. So now, what makes you sleep at night?
Mm-hmm.
And what's the worst that can happen? He says no. Then you know where you stand. You know it is not reconcilable.
She's like, yo, this guy is opening the door for me. All those cute things. And it's like, guys, make this decision, do this, do that. Girl, I'm saying girl so that people don't pick up who I'm speaking about. Girl, this conversation is for you. I told you I'll sit with this woman. This is for you. Go back to your man's girl. Go back to your man. Your
shoot
kids
your
even
shot,
want
girl.
Yes. And
Shoot
the man
your
obviously is
shot.
there waiting to
And
get back with
sometimes that you
with
find
him.
Tore, he is waiting.
He
but
is there. He's still
you
asking
are
her out.
stubborn. You are the one that's
Keep us,
thinking about people, but at night, when you're alone, when you're going through all those emotions, we're not there.
Yeah.
We're not there. So she must do what is good for her.
Yeah.
Be selfish about her.
Yes.
Be selfish about you because people speak either way.
Either way,
Either
guys.
way, people will speak.
Anyway, Mami, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It
We
was
wish
such
you
a
all
pleasure.
the best
Thank you.
for your marriage or your wedding on Saturday.
Thank you so much.
When we speak, I hope you'll be saying, I promise I can't hear you. And a baby crying.
And a baby crying.
Yeah,
No,
sure.
definitely. Thank you so much for
God is
having me.
good. Thank you.
All right.
Guys, I know you have enjoyed this episode, especially you wives, divorced women. I know that you guys enjoyed this episode and take this moment to subscribe. Click the subscribe button, guys. We are almost there. 100K is still our goal. And yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.